development and create my own course. The first course I did actually is called Managing Your Boss. It's a 1-month course. It is intense weekly. We have a Zoom weekly, and it just focuses on 4 elements, one of each, which is creative thinking, problem solving, emotional intelligence, and communications. That means nonverbal, verbal, and written. And those are important for you. And then what's really funny is the twist is most people think, and Harvard actually sells this course for about $3,000 to $5,000, Managing Your Boss. It's up, down. When you manage, it's up, down. We don't manage up. And they're like, what do you mean manage your boss? I say the twist is I'll give you 2 folds. One is how to communicate and manage your managers, especially if they're micromanagers. There's a lot of them out there. And at the end of the day, you are the boss of yourself. It's a choice. You can choose to either go with the flow and be miserable at work, or you could choose to move on and create your own opportunities. And so Level Up Academy is about taking the theory and put it into action. And it's a la carte. Basically, if you want to learn how to do a business plan, I teach you exactly how to do a business plan. If you want to learn tools like Canva and how to leverage that as a business owner, as a student, as a faculty, as a course developer, you can take my class. My vision is to be the Netflix of education someday.
I love that. I love that. And you know what, you also in your books, I want to ask you about, especially the one about leadership and women. How does your book impact the business? Because that's what a lot of us are, because like right now I'm writing my first book, and that's what I keep. That's why I'm doing it. I keep an eye on how the book I'm writing, how does it impact, how some of my writing impacting my business, today, and how would a book impact my expertise?
The book that I did is actually a group of 8 PhDs, all of us doing the summit, because I created a summit for the university. But my specific chapter is about thought leadership. So what I usually love to do is to explain a story of why you need the foundation, right? Why do you need a foundation of some problem? Because your book should actually provide solution that highlight the problem and leave the people hanging. Like, okay, now we know it's a problem. Now what? What are you going to do with this problem, right? So I usually will have a focus of a problem and give you examples on how you could relate to that story. And then I create a scientifically proven research from either Harvard, or I really love Harvard Business Review, and a lot of like books that I know that did a really good research on certain topics, like how do you know who your target market is? You need to know that all the baby boomers are already retiring, right? As a business people, how does that affect you? Well, now if you're a business leader and you're hiring somebody, you need to have mad skills. Okay, what is a mad skill, right? So then I put it into actionable things like, okay, you need to be a thought leader. You need to be paying attention to the trend. Do you need to be an expert? No, you just need to keep your pulse in the trend so you know how to pivot and change your strategy as a business leader or a business owner so that you can change instantly. Like, for example, COVID happened. Most of the universities who have leveraged technology and use Zoom and things like that, or Adobe, are the only universities and colleges that stay in business after COVID, because they were able to change quickly, right? They kept their pulse on the future, not like this is the traditional, you have to come into school. A lot of the schools that I actually know closed down because they weren't ready for that. That's what I'm saying, just keeping your pulse on the trend. You don't need to be an expert, but you need to be ready for what's to come.
I agree with that. You do have anticipation. And I wanted to just kind of retract back to something you said, because a lot of people ask me that very same question about knowing who your target audience is. How do you actually, when you're explaining that, how do you actually explain it about your target audience?
So for me, target audience, sometimes people will say niche down, like really, really niche down. And then people are like, well, start broad. You get so confused. So when I teach that class on marketing of niching down, is I don't worry about other people and their market. The people that I want to attract are the people that are aligned with me. That's what I'm more worried about. And my expertise. I can't niche it down to something that I think the trend is happening, because if I don't have the passion for that, it's going to come out. So what I usually do is I have 3 rules, 3 buckets. where can I get my message across that most people would want to know? So my niches is kind of broad, more than most people. The first one I have is students who are trying to go to college, trying to figure out what is the best major, right? And I said, here's the thing, you're going to spend money and time, $100,000, $50,000, and then you actually use your degree for a checkbox. So why not get a degree? Like if you're going to major in history, what are you going to do with history? Let's be honest. You like history, okay, but what are you going to do with that history? You're wasting your money and time. So ask your why. Why do you want to go to college? Because college is not for everybody, right? I need that checkbox. Okay, good. We got that recovered. If you need that checkbox, what are you really passionate about? Deep inside, what do you want to do when you grow up? Right? You're like, oh, I like business. Okay, what kind of business? So I have those conversations. So that's my first bucket, is that students. The second is the students who are already in college, who already has multiple degrees. And then I ask them, okay, what are some of the things that your degree that you actually came in here for? What was your goal of getting that third degree? Just because you wanted a third degree, or was there a purpose, right? And that purpose might be because I wanted to learn. I heard this from a medical doctor. I wanted to learn how to create a business plan. I'm like, sir, you don't need a degree for doing that. You literally can go to YouTube and get that. Google it and get that. You need a master coach or somebody and get that. Like there's really something why you came here to do that, right? And then we dig deeper. So those are the second students. The third bucket is the people who are already done with the degree. They don't want to get a degree anymore, but they need a continuous improvement, which is, what is trending right now? How can I use Canva? How can I use metaverse? What is even a metaverse, right? Those are my third bucket, are the professionals who's already done, but they want to keep their pulse on something that is trending. Then I keep those as well. So my niches technically are three, but I'm not like, oh, I'm going to be just North America. No, I'm leveling up the world, literally leveling up the world. So I'm hoping my vision is to have one in Nigeria, which I have a brother there now, to have a level up academy. Whatever that he can help in his community do better, I will help. The one in Singapore I have coming up, Australia, Pakistan. So I'm trying to get a little hub for everyone to level up by a la carte, getting professionals to do it. But I have standards. So when you niche down who your target market, don't worry about what others target market. Worry about what is your expertise. What are you good at? Then go from within to out. Then make it like, okay, this is big, and then cover it down, keep it to 3. And if you want to keep it to 1 to really hone in on your skills, it's okay. Mine is just 3 because that's how I get all my information, because I can handle those 3. But if you just want to do 1, that's fine. But don't go out to bring in. It's in and out. That's how I do with niche, because it's important for people to see consistency and authenticity of what you're doing.
And that sounds like a professional who first, number one, has self-love, because you have to, first of all, cherish and love what you do and what you have to offer. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And I heard you today on this show, let's see, Russ Hedges interview, and you talked about the YouTube University. Well, okay, what's your passion? What for YouTube University? What's your connection there? I love that the term.
Well, YouTube University, I call it because, when you go to university, you want to learn something, right? With YouTube University, it's a la carte. You literally can do whatever search you want, and it's there.